and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Nokia Theater here in beautiful downtown Los Angeles for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Goose and Tudor Promotions in association with Duva Boxing and Score Promotions. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the chairman Tim Noonan, our judges scoring this bout, Ray Corona, Max DeLuca, and Marty Denkin. With our third man of the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, Dr. James Jenkin. All right, fans, here we go with the big boys of boxing. Heavyweights in a ring in a 10-round special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Los Angeles, California, it's time for the ESPN Friday Night Fights main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner, wearing light blue trunks. He weighed in at 265 pounds. His record stands at 30 wins, 2 losses, with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked number 5 heavyweight in the world by the IBF, the WBO, and the WBC. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Akwa Ibom, Nigeria. Please welcome the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Nigerian Nightmare, Samuel Peter. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with red trim. He weighed in at 223 pounds. His record, 33 wins, only 1 defeat, 18 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the IBF number 3 ranked heavyweight in the world from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, introducing fast, Eddie Chambers. Once again, a referee in charge, Dr. James Jenkin, now to give instructions.
Gentlemen, mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. Gentlemen, obey my command. Let's go.
Don't forget,
Eddie Chambers.
Joe, don't forget that Peter was not only knocked out in his last fight, but gave up on the stool in his last fight. So that lack of confidence, that memory is still there. Chambers' job, while trying to avoid any TNT from Peter, is to bring him back to that memory.
Did not continue after 8 against Vitaly Klitschko. Meanwhile, Chambers, the lone loss in his career, that decision loss to Alexander Povetkin, where he completely came off the gas pedal over in Germany. Lost a decision back in January 2008. 3 straight wins, 2 of them by knockout, against fairly pedestrian competition.
So in all fairness, we've been talking about Peter being so overweight, the heaviest of his career. We should mention that Chambers, just look at that body. There's a little extra luggage around that midsection. Chambers coming in the heaviest weight in over 4 years.
Just 1 pound away from the heaviest weight of his career. We often talked about that with Eddie Chambers when we had him when he was starting his career. And we would make the comment many times when he was coming in at 210 pounds. Boy, oh boy, Teddy, you look at him, we would say stuff like, couldn't he just lose that extra 10, 15 pounds and be a cruiserweight? He kind of has that build, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He doesn't really look real swell, you know, real athletic as a heavyweight. At least not a heavyweight in these dimensions in the 220s. You'd rather see him probably around 215 because of that extra luggage. But one thing I like seeing, I said it in the fight plan, you know, I would have liked to see Chambers use his legs. I didn't think he would. He's using his legs a little bit early on. Not running around like Ali, but just enough, which I think is a good thing, to keep Peter off balance, keep him from getting set. And there's some good news for Peter, a little bit. He's going to the body a little bit, and that's where he should go, that soft body of Chambers. Take the air out of the tires a little bit.
Chambers able to land a right hand moments ago.
Just watch Chambers. He likes to cover, and he likes to pull back from the waist. Really yank himself. I mean, just pull his upper body back. Doesn't see how he does that,
He just did it there.
Yeah, he doesn't use his legs with that. He just pulls his upper body back. Now it's up to Peter to step with him because he's in the path of the punch, and he's really not in position to punch when he does that. But if Peter doesn't step with him, see, he pulls back again.
Coming up against that right hand of Sam Peter. In the lead up to this fight, Eddie Chambers said, I'm going to use my legs just enough against Peter. I won't run. I will get some shots in.
Well, I think it's smart for him because for the most part, Chambers usually stands right in front and just tries to block everything. That can be dangerous with a guy with big power like Peter. You might not block everything. It'll get behind the gloves, something to get in. But Chambers is not just blocking everything. He's using those legs, again, to frustrate maybe Peter a little bit, keep him from using that power. And again, just watch Chambers when he pulls back. He'll pull back from the waist. And what he'll try to do is make Peter fall short. And then, of course, later on, come back.
End of round one of our heavyweight main event. Stay with us. LA, a great fight town. You saw the numbers that Margarito Mosley did, the recent trend of fights getting away from the sterile environment of the casino game and getting to the cities that love the fight game, such as LA. Round number 2 of our main event. Sam Peter, Eddie Chambers. In the first round, Chambers was 9 of 31 on total punches. Peter was 8 of 52.
Again, Chambers early on doing a pretty good job of using his legs a little bit to not just block, but keep Peter out of range. But what he has to do is make sure he comes back with that offense, because what he wants to do is make Peter pay too. You know, start to break him down a little bit, because if Peter has proved anything off his last fight, Joe, it is that he can be broken down, that his will can be evaporated.
Stayed on the stool against Vitaly Klitschko, did not come out and continue, and lost his belt.
So
now
in other
switching
words,
sides for a moment is Chambers and firing off that right hand.
in other words, Chambers needs a nice mix of smartness, defense, but you got to come back with that offense if you're going to break this big guy down. And right now, Chambers going defensive, maybe a little too long. Needs to move those hands at the right time.
So you don't want to give away rounds.
No, you don't. And you don't want to allow it to be a pace where the overweight Peter doesn't pay a price.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Where he can coast along and you're just surviving, but you're not putting something on him. You want to put something on him. Make that gas tank start to go down a little bit towards E.
Tripling up that jab now is Chambers. Yeah, you got to pick up the pace against Sam Peter and make it so that when you get to the back half of this fight, the advantage is with you.
Yeah, because you want his mindset to be, after 3, 4, 5 rounds, to be frustrated and worried. I'm not in shape. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I got enough left in the tank, but if it's a slow pace, you're not going to have that mindset in Peter. And you must have it.
There's a right hand from Peter as Chambers stopped his circling to the left for just a moment, fired off with a 1-2, and Peter was quick to return fire.
You know, there's misperceptions. You can't judge a book by the cover. And I'll tell you what the misperceptions are about these guys a little bit. You look at Peter, you know, the bigger guy, you say, well, Chambers, fast Eddie Chambers. He's got the quicker hands. You know what? I'd argue with that. Peter has deceivingly quick hands, although right there,
Yeah,
Chambers,
good work on that fast left there from Chambers.
Makes me look like maybe my argument should go south
But
somewhere.
your point is sound. He delivers power, but it's not that big, thudding, deliberate power. It does come with some flash and speed.
He doesn't move his hands a lot, Peter. He's lazy. But when he does move those hands, he has quickness in him.
He does.
But I'll tell you another misperception. Peter has a 19-inch neck. Looks like a fire hydrant. But he's been on the floor. You know, that even though you think of a neck like that, you say, well, you're not going to be able to hurt that chin. Well, that chin has been hurt.
Pick up the pace here at the end of round 2. More to come.
Time.
We remind you that you can sign up for boxing alerts on your mobile phone. Just go to ESPN.com/boxing and look for the Friday Night Fights logo. Click on the link below to get up-to-date boxing news and info at ESPN.com/boxing. Sam Peter, crucial fight for him to maintain his status. Ring Magazine has him still number 6 in the world. ESPN.com has him number 5, as do all the Alphabet Soup organizations. 28 years old, recent titleist, trying to bounce back after losing his belt to Vitaly Klitschko.
You know, I should say something. I noticed, or I remember that I said in the last round that Peter can be lazy. His punch numbers, you know, they don't really jaw you. You know, he's not busy enough sometimes moving those hands. You can say the same about Chambers. Sometimes he's lazy as far as moving those hands go, too. and he mustn't be, again, he mustn't be tonight. He's doing the defense here, but he has to come back and make Peter pay a price. Put that doubt in Peter's mind and start to break down that 265 overweight body of Peter. You're not going to break it down just with defense.
Peter was unable to land a flush shot in that whole time that Chambers was corralled in the corner.
You know, the manager and trainer of Chambers, Rob Murray, he was also the co-manager, Bernard Hopkins. I like what he said in the corner. I was listening to him. He said, move your head a little bit, too. Don't just block. Move your head, because when you move your head, you make the guy miss, and then you create an opening. One of the people very important in Chambers' career, also legendary Don Elbaum, legendary boxing promoter and matchmaker, had a lot to do with building up Eddie Chambers' career.
And we should note, Teddy, that there was a point in your career recently where you almost became part of Team Peter. There was a decision that